This meeting
Okay.
is being recorded.
Okay. So, Hari, just start with your introduction and we'll go after that with the interview and a question and answer session. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I have nearly 20 years of experience in software industry. I started my career as a front-end developer, but then in 2018-19, I switched from front-end to back-end developer. I got
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity to work on Spring Boot microservices with SunTrust Bank. So I switched my career from front end to back end in 2018-19. I was working there for a while. So for the past 6 years, I'm with the FIS.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently playing. I was currently playing tech lead role, where I was working on a product called Digital One Banking.
Mm-hmm.
It is for Hancock Whitney Bank. So I was leading a team of 15 members, and we were supporting 7 different channels, three consumer facing, and then four banker applications. It's a total of 7 applications.
Nice.
So in my current role, so I take responsibility of end-to-end delivery of the sprint and also production support. It's a dual role because we do not have a dedicated production support team. So development, production support, everything comes to us. So it's a combination of both development and production support. So I actually participate in the grooming session, scrum call, planning, and then development. I mean, the entire SDLC life cycle altogether. Uh, so most of my work in a given sprint involve in creating REST APIs, basically, either to interact with the database or to any external service. So we have
Great.
bank
Great. Yeah.
service, new service. So most of the work was around the REST API development, either enhancing or doing a new development based on the requirement. So as part of the development, we also do check marks and CX1 vulnerability scanning to make sure the code is compliance, and if there are any vulnerabilities identified during the scan, we mitigate it within the sprint. And once the development is completed, I take care of the build and deploy process as well. So we use OpenShift and Helm deployment. So I used to create the Helm packages. We use OpenShift for deploying those Helm packages, coordinate with the SRE team for the higher environments and production release. So as part of this entire piece, whatever I just explained, it's as part of the regular sprint day-to-day activity of me in a given sprint. Once it's part of the whole development, but along with that, as part of this, I also do production incidents, take care of production incidents where I have created a Splunk dashboard, created Splunk alerts, and also used Dynatrace to monitor the distributed traces, just to ensure the system is scalable and reliable for
Wow.
the
Very nice.
customers.
Very nice. Great explanation.
Yeah.
So, Hari, what are the versions of Java you have worked so far?
So I have used currently we are working on Java 17. That's a recent update that we did, and Spring 3.5 version.
Very well. As I mentioned on the call, this position is going to be more on core Java related works. So probably you will be heavily involved into collections, multi-threading, and SQL, maybe databases and all. So to begin with, I would like to know what are the differences since you mentioned you're working on Java 17. So from Java 8 to Java 17, what are the major upgrades uh, you have found so far, or maybe if you can just help me out to understand what are the features added in Java 17.
Okay, to be frank, I did not explore much on Java 17.
I'm okay, whatever
So,
you have done, whatever you have explored, that should be fine.
so we when I say Java 17, we recently updated from Java 11 to Java 17. In
Okay.
Java 17, we we were using Java 17 as a runtime environment, but not the
Mhm.
development environment.
Got it. That's okay. We can
So
skip this. So
yes.
now talking about Java 8, what are the main features that you have used so far in Java 8?
So primarily, so there are a lot of features in Java 8, but on a daily or day-to-day basis, we mostly use the Streams framework, the
Okay.
Streams API.
Mm-hmm.
There are other features like try with resources, but those are all not touched much. So when I given sprint for any API development, we primarily involve using the Streams API.
Okay.
So starting from
So if
intermediate,
I ask differences in between stream or maybe parallel and sequential stream, can you help me to understand how will you
yes.
differentiate
So
parallel and stream?
parallel stream, yeah, parallel. So streams, it can be a sequential stream or a parallel stream.
Mm-hmm.
Parallel stream is mostly used when there is a huge amount of data where we need to do multi-threading or
Correct.
parallelly process the data, but parallel stream is little costly.
Mm-hmm.
So unless there is a need, we usually do not go for parallel stream. Sequential stream is just a little small amount of data where the retrieval and updations are faster. We go for the regular
Correct.
stream.
Correct. So if you need to filter out any data, maybe there are multiple duplicate records in a table.
Yes.
So in
Yes.
streams, what are the syntax you are going to write?
So basically, yeah. So we need to have an array or a list to start
Mm-hmm.
off with,
Mm-hmm.
or we can create a generic stream using the stream of operator. So there are multiple ways we can create a stream. So
Mm-hmm.
for example, if I start with the list using a list, I can do a list dot stream, which will
Correct.
convert the list
Correct.
into a stream first, and followed by that, I can use a filter to have any condition. A filter basically takes a predicate,
Mm-hmm.
which is the condition that we need to provide to the stream, and the filter is an intermediate operator. And on top of it, we can chain multiple intermediate operator. One is the distinct. If we have to have like distinct values, if there are duplicates and I don't want any duplicates, I use the distinct to filter out any duplicate values. Once this is done, we need to use so these distinct filter, these are all intermediate operators, and which will not work on the stream until a terminal operator is used. So the terminal operator can be just for printing. We can use either a for each, or we can collect it to a stream, or we can group it using the collectors grouping. So there are multiple ways we can use a terminal operator. So I mean, stepwise, we need to have a stream first, apply the filter, followed by distinct to remove duplicates, and
Correct.
then
Correct.
use any one of the terminal operator to complete the result.
Okay. So have you ever used enum functions?
Yes, not very much, but yes.
So would you be open to discuss, not discuss, I would say, if you can just tell me what are the features of enum function?
So enums are kind of a contract, basically. So when we define an enum with certain parameters, say for example, the channels. So when I say when talked about the multiple channels, the 7 channels. So those channels I define it as an enum. So
Mm-hmm.
when an incoming request is being sent, so the incoming request should have one of these channels, so I can directly compare with these enums to
Correct.
easily differentiate whether the request is valid or not. It's basically kind of a contract.
Got
Enums
it.
are kind of a contract that we can work upon.
And how do you implement singleton threads of singletons in Java?
So, so I'll start off with thread first. So thread it's a lightweight component within a process. A process is a unit of execution where it's separated by multiple threads.
Mm-hmm.
So threads we can do it in many ways. Either you can we can either extend the thread class and call the run method. That's one way of doing. The other way is we can either do implementing the runnable interface and creating a thread object, pass the runnable object to it, or we can use the callable interface and invoke the call method. The difference between the run and call, it depends on the logic that we need. If we just need to fire and forget, use the runnable interface and call the run method. If we want to have the result set and then work something on the result set, use the callable interface and then use the invoke the call method. These are the traditional ways of doing it, but with the Java 8, I think we have this executor framework where we don't need to manage the thread and its invocation and the scheduling of the threads. The executor framework comes handy when talking about thread to do all these things asynchronously. So
Okay.
I
Okay.
hope
Nice.
I covered some.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, with
So,
respect to singleton, you asked about singleton too.
mhm.
So yeah, you want me to explain how the
No,
singleton
I
object
think
is created?
we are good here.
Okay.
So, Hari, tell me one thing. Array list is thread safe or not?
No, array list is not a thread safe.
Okay. So,
So
what is the lock-in
the
mechanism you are going to use it to make it thread safe?
so one way we can do is we can put the array list into a synchronized block.
Correct.
That's one way of
Correct.
doing it. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, Now I would like to discuss a little bit on the database side. So, how much you have been involved into database interaction, or maybe what is your transaction that you have been doing day to day in your projects?
So, so as I mentioned, it's a product which comes up with a predefined functionalities altogether. So
Mm-hmm.
the database, and we also have a DBA, separate DBA who works for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's a distributed company, so we have separate people for everyone. The database side, I'm aware of the queries, I'm aware of everything, but with respect to implementation wise, it's the scope is very less. But
Okay.
I'm aware
So
how
tell me
the
one thing.
domain.
If we have
Yes.
a complex query, what are the steps you will take to optimize that complex query?
So one way is to do the indexing. Indexing is one way where
Absolutely, yeah.
we can do a faster retrieval. That's one thing that we have seen in. So our project goes to performance cycle every time
Mm-hmm.
whenever there is a release. So we do a database performance testing separately along with the longevity and the stress test. And most of the times it comes out like the queries are taking a long time to, because it's a complex database that we have, and most of the times it comes up with some data being retrieved very slow. And when we deep dive, it's one of the index is missing in many of the places where it should be there.
Okay.
That's one way I can think of to increase the speed of the query execution.
Okay. So can you differentiate in between delete, truncate, and drop?
Delete, truncate, delete. Okay. So I just read about it. Delete, I think it will just delete the table. It will not have backup. I mean, I couldn't recollect, but it's all about the same thing. But some will delete, but then you have a backup. If we just truncate, I think the table will be gone and backup
Correct.
will not be
Correct.
there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Correct. So, what are the basic Linux command you have used so far?
Linux, the scope is less again, but I'm aware of process management. I'm aware of checking the disk space. I'm aware of monitoring. Like for example, in a Linux box, we can do multiple things, starting from file permissions to file creations to user creation, user group. We can do the process
So, which
management. We
command you
can
are going
do
to
everything.
use to for file permissions?
We can use the change mode.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Mm.
Change mode, and I mean I couldn't recollect, but I've done a little. Like mainly we check for the processor because we log into the Linux servers sometimes. So we check for the processors, like what are the different processors it is running, and then we can check for the memory, the CPU, and memory usages, because there are some occasions where a certain pod is taking long time to respond. So in those instances, logs will not tell us everything. So we have to log into the server to see whether the CPU utilization is high or the memory usage is high to determine the root cause of the problem.
Got it. I think that is what I wanted to have a detailed discussion with you, Hari. I think we are good.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and try to set up your interview as quickly as possible.
Okay.
We'll keep you posted, okay?
Okay.